This is Retirement Keys with Anthony Congemi from Crescent City Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Anthony provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Retirement Keys with your host, Anthony Congemi.
Well, welcome to another show of Retirement Keys. I'm your host, Anthony Congemi. I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think we have a great series that we're going to be embarking on, the ultimate checklist for navigating your retirement. We have our fabulous co-host, Mr. Tony Shore, with us this morning. Tony, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. This is going to be a great show. It's really an amazing show. I can see you. You can see me. We're on video now. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is, Tony. It's like we're sitting right next to each other. I don't know if our listening audience realizes this, but you are in Minnesota.
Yep.
And we are here, of course, in Metairie, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And we're just so blessed to have you, Tony. I mean, You get to work with retirement planners all over the country. And so you bring such a wealth of knowledge and experience to the show. So we thank you so much for being the best co-host we could find.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Well, you're the best host. I love working with you. You know that. And I love it when we can do the show together. I can't wait to come back down there to Nollins and do a show with you there. And
Yes, sir.
I'm excited about that. Now, you've got a great show today. We're going to talk about the ultimate checklist for navigating retirement. And I think that's really important. People need to know what they need to do to be prepared for retirement. And it really starts with a holistic income strategy, working with somebody like yourself who's going to help them look at the big picture, right?
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. And as you know, in our the book we wrote that's published on Amazon, the Retirement Keys, or the workshop that we do, the 5 Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement, we're really spend a lot of time on these 5 key areas: estate and legacy planning, income planning, healthcare planning, investment strategy, and of course taxes. Are really the 5 main areas of a retirement plan. But this ultimate checklist for navigating your retirement is really drilling down on the top 3 of the 5, and income planning being the very first discussion for our show today. But yes, the checklist for navigating retirement, and I know we're going to be spending a bit of this show on retirement income planning.
Yeah. Well, let's start there. What are the checklist things that we need to talk about? What's the first thing on the checklist for income planning?
Absolutely. So part 1, holistic income strategy. And the very first thing, Tony, is really trying to determine what the retirement income should look like. Really, the 2 key questions that we have for any body that comes in that says, hey, I want to start looking at a retirement plan. As it relates to income, Tony, the primary 2 questions I would say that are just paramount, and they're, sound simple, but really they're very important. So don't let the simplicity take away from the importance of these questions. The first one is time horizon. We want to know what that time horizon looks like before retirement. Is it a year away? Is it 5 years away? So that's going to be real important. When do you want to retire? But then to this question, Tony, it's not just when do I want to retire, but how much income am I going to be looking for in retirement? So in other words, and we're not talking about a gross number here, We're talking about a net number. How much income should we have coming in, or would we like to have coming in? Frankly, not just to pay our bills, but to maintain our lifestyle, or at least the lifestyle we have envisioned in retirement. So this question is about income, Tony. It's about how much income are we going to need to cover our expenses in retirement, as well as be able to enjoy our retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the key, right? I mean, you don't want to have to be worried about money so much, or where the money's coming from, or if you're going to have enough that you can't enjoy your retirement, you can't sleep well at night. I think that's a great point. And, again, I always like to use the phrase, you don't want your bank account to go to zero before your blood pressure does. I think that's always an important key to remember. And that's what you help your clients prevent. You help them reach their retirement goals and make sure they have enough to do it.
Absolutely, Tony. And the other thing too about a holistic income plan, it's not just about structuring income to make sure that that monthly income is where it needs to be. It's also about the tax efficiency of that income. So many people will say, well, if we need extra money, we'll just pull it from here, or we'll pull it from there. And although that sounds reasonable, yeah, if you need extra money and your income per month doesn't cover it, you can just pull it from other sources. The problem with that, Tony, is primarily the tax implication of that type of thing, pulling money out of the wrong accounts at the wrong time. So having this structured income plan, Tony, at least to make sure that not only our expenses, but our allowance to be able to enjoy our retirement. So having that strategy in place, certainly if there's extra money that's needed, there'll be other accounts to be able to pull from. But that initial base income in retirement, and having a structured income plan that's tax efficient, is really the first key to a retirement income plan.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense. That is good. And you have to have that in place. And when it comes to income planning, you want somebody who's looking at the big picture and has that big picture, but everybody's situation is different. And I like how you look at each individual's situation. So, and different people have different goals. Some people want to buy an RV and travel the country. Well, that's one expense. Some people want to, get into a hobby, or do something different, maybe start a small side business in retirement. Some people just want to travel to Europe or take the kids to Disney World. So everybody has different goals in retirement. So that's going to mean different types of financial planning or income planning, right?
Absolutely, Tony. And, for your retirement counselor, for your planner that's working with you, the more clear we can be with those types of things, the trips that you want to take, the RV that you want to buy, the second home, the structured income to maintain your lifestyle, the more accurate, the more clear we can be as it relates to those things. How is my retirement going to look, and what are we going to need as it relates to funding it? Is going to be real important to designing a structured retirement income plan. Because again, investments have maturity dates and all sorts of things, depending on how things are titled and taxed, are going to play a role in this. So the first order of business is just trying to determine what the retirement income needs to look like, what some of those other things like trips and larger purchases down the line, your retirement planner, getting a sense of what that's going to look like, really with your help to really farm that out, or structure that, and then making sure that the income plan meets those objectives is really critical, Tony. It really is.
Yeah, you're right, Anthony. What you do need is a starting point.
Correct.
And everybody's situation is different. It's going to change from there, but you need some type of starting point, and that's what you look at. You look at net income, what they're spending now. You look at the goals for retirement and say, okay, this is what you're going to need. Some people might be 100%. Some people, it might be they only need 60 or 70%. So I know that, but a general rule of thumb is good to have, and that's that 80% starting point. So what's another item on the checklist that we should cover today, Anthony?
Well, the sources of income.
Yes.
So then you have to ask yourself, well, if we have a good number, if we know what this net income should look like in retirement, what are going to be some of the sources of that income? And that really is going to be the next item on the list. And some of the things on the checklist, Tony, are going to be things like Social Security income. So how your Social Security is going to look. If you're married, there may be a strategy there with the spousal benefits. So really making sure that we make the proper elections as it relates to Social Security, whether you're married or single. And, as you know, Tony, our Social Security maximization report really is just an actuarial number crunching report. But what it does is it looks at life expectancy. So it looks at the average life expectancy of a male or a female, given the person's age. And then it looks at 4 different scenarios. It looks at, what if I file at my earliest, which a lot of people might say, hey, my earliest file date is 62. Doggone it, I'm going to start at 62. Somebody else might say, I'm going to wait to full retirement age. Let's say that's 66. That gives you another scenario. It might be 67, 66 and 6 months, depending on when you were born, but nevertheless, FRA, full retirement age. Another person might say, wait, I'm going to wait to 70. I'm going to get the full, the highest payment, and then there's that optimization. Then the report says, hey, this is what you'll get at 62. This is what you'll get at full retirement. This is what you'll get at 70. And this is the optimized, all based on life expectancy. So the Social Security maximization report is a very important report for us as it relates to building an income plan. The other piece of that, Tony, might be a pension or a defined benefit plan. You might have a pension from your employer, or you might have worked for the state or the federal government where they offer a structured income. That's also another, pretty secure retirement income piece. And of course, when we're building a retirement income plan, we want all the pension information. We want to know about the survivor benefit. If something happens to you, will the spouse get any of it, half of it, 100% of it? We want to know about that pension. Annuities, another great, income source. It's like your own private pension, right? A lot of annuities have these lifetime income riders where, it guarantees the payment for the rest of your life. Even if the doggone account value all goes all the way down to zero, you're still guaranteed that income. It's like a private pension. There's veteran benefits that could be available. And certainly fixed income instruments like CDs, bonds, those types of things. Even real estate investment trusts all have these dividends or interest payments. Even blue chip dividend paying stocks, you get some nice dividends off of there for income. But at the end of the day, Tony, between your Social Security and your pension and annuities, bonds, these are income instruments that all go into looking at structuring an income plan in retirement. Because let's face it, the thing that you gain when you retire is your freedom. You're retired. I mean, it's a whole new chapter in life. It could be a wonderful experience, right? But what you're giving up is your income, So you have to have a structured income plan to make that up. And that income plan needs to be reliable.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. And Anthony, I want to take a moment here to take a quick break, and we're going to let our listeners know how they can set up a no charge, no obligation consultation and get a copy of your book. the 5 keys to retirement, retirement keys, I should say. That's a great book. Let's give that away. What's the number they can call to set up that consultation or to get a copy of the book?
Absolutely. So the number here at the office in Metairie, 504-828-2171 is our office number. You can also go online to crescentcityretirement.com, and all of our archived shows are there. You can certainly request a 15-minute retirement call with myself. Ask any questions you have, anything as it relates to retirement. You can schedule a 15-minute consultation call with us. So really go online at crescentcityretirement.com and you can engage with us there, or just simply pick up the phone at 504-828-2171. And, we're here. We're here as a resource for you. And we really want to be a good partner, whether it be just to ask a question or just to try to get information. You should also get a list, this retirement checklist that we put together that we're doing this series on. Please request your copy. We'll shoot it to you in a PDF, shoot it to you via email. But it's a great list of all of the things that really need to be done before retirement. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to go on a short break, but we appreciate the time you're spending with us.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. Listeners, we'll be right back with more of Retirement Keys with our host, Anthony Congemi, right after this.
You've been listening to our shows and advice on getting your finances in order and creating a retirement income plan that will last. Now is the time to take advantage of our special offer. This is Anthony Congemi of Crescent City Retirement Group, and we're now offering a complimentary gourmet dinner and retirement planning workshop, the 5 Keys to a Stress-Free Retirement. This is one workshop you won't want to miss. Call in the next 20 minutes for this no-cost offer. Seating is limited. Call Crescent City Retirement Group within the next 20 minutes at 504-828-2171. That number again is 504-828-2171.
Welcome back to Retirement Keys. I'm your co-host, Tony Shore. I'm here with our host, Anthony Congemi. Anthony, we're talking about the ultimate retirement checklist, and we've covered things like we're talking about income strategy mainly, and that's the key to retirement planning. And you've said sources for income. You've talked about how to figure out how much you're going to need in retirement. And really all of these things are why you need to work with a financial advisor, a fiduciary like yourself, who's going to look out for your best interest, look at your personal situation, and help you figure it out. What's next on the checklist? What do you want to talk about next?
All right. So on the checklist, they are talking certainly about inflation and how we may be able to get a good starting point with your income. And as I mentioned in the last segment, the starting point in your net income, as far as, we like to solve for 100% of your net income when you were working. So that's really a great place for us. We feel that's a good place to start. But in addition to that, you've got to figure that things are going to cost more as we go through retirement. We run these retirement income plans to age 100. So if somebody retires at 65 years old, that means that we have 35 years to draw income off of our retirement plan. And we know that over the years that things are going to cost more. We're going to have inflation, right? And so 20 years from now, what $100,000 was covering, we're going to need more like at a 3% inflation rate. We're going to need more like $186,000 to maintain the same standard of living. So your retirement income plan needs to address that, Tony. It needs to address that COLA, that cost of living adjustment that's so important in a retirement income plan.
Yeah, it's huge. It really does. And inflation is something it's at the top of everyone's mind. After the last couple of years, we saw some pretty high inflation numbers. And those in retirement who didn't factor in inflation into what they're going to need to live on each month and every year throughout retirement to last them, that's a rude awakening. So that's another reason to work with yourself, Anthony. I know that you incorporate and plan for inflation into your retirement income plans you do for your clients, and can help our listeners with that as well.
Absolutely, Tony. Like I say, we talk about the 5 keys to a stress-free retirement: estate and legacy planning, healthcare planning, investments, income, and taxes. But I would say the core or the foundation to those 5 keys would be income planning. And so you really have to get income planning right. It needs to be tax efficient. It needs to be structured appropriately. It needs to maintain our standard of living, and it needs to be adjusted for inflation, because we know as we live in retirement, healthcare costs, insurances, we see, oh my goodness, down here in South Louisiana, Tony, since Ida, that last storm, insurance rates, everybody that's under the sound of our voice right now is shaking their head. Insurance rates have gone through the roof. Every time you go to inflation in general, has come off the charts. So you need a good retirement distribution strategy that takes into account that things are going to cost more in the future. So income planning and inflation protection is key to a sound retirement income plan.
Right. And next on the checklist is Social Security. And you talked briefly about this before, but since it's the next box on the checklist to have an ultimate retirement, we hammer this point on a lot of shows, but you do have to maximize your Social Security. That's a big part of having the income you're going to need, right?
Yeah, Tony, when we think about income planning being the foundation of a retirement plan, which is so true, your Social Security strategy is really the foundation of your income plan. So, it really is a core strategy there with Social Security that needs to be looked at if your income plan is going to be successful. Your Social Security strategy is, again, the core of that. So of the income plan. So it really needs to be looked at. The days where people would say, take a calculator and a legal pad and start punching in some numbers and saying, hey, I'm going to start at 66, or I'm going to start at 62, or I'm going to wait till I'm 67. Really, it needs to be coordinated. Your Social Security strategy, and especially if you're a married couple, then it really needs to be coordinated. The Social Security strategy needs to be built in to your overall retirement income plan. And you'll be surprised how those strategies tie in so well. But it all starts with the Social Security maximization report. It's a key report for us. And so when we embark on developing a retirement income plan with a client, we really start with that Social Security strategy. And at the end of it, Tony, as I mentioned earlier, it covers 4 different scenarios: starting early, as early as you can, waiting to full retirement age, waiting to age 70, which is the maximum it'll grow, and the optimization strategy. That optimization strategy is really the key there, Tony. It really is.
Yeah, and even spousal benefits. Now, we're almost out of time for today's show, Anthony. It flew by, but I want our listeners to have a chance to get that Social Security maximization report run, and it's personalized to your situation, your numbers, your age, when you might. And it'll show you exactly the sweet spot of when to file to maximize your Social Security. And you can talk it over with Anthony and his team. Let our listeners know, Anthony, how they can get that report run. There's no charge, no obligation. They just set up a consultation and you'll run that report for them, correct?
Absolutely. It is a foundational report to an income plan. You definitely want it. It's really a masterpiece as it relates to Social Security reports. It's one of the finest programs that I've seen yet on Social Security planning. You want the report. We don't need much. All we need is your date of birth, and we need your Social Security, the Social Security benefits that you have, and the earnings history. It's something you can get online at ssa.gov. We can plug in those numbers in the Social Security Max report, and we can provide you that report. We'll send you that via email and a PDF. We'll also send you these bullet points of all of the income planning we have here and navigating your retirement, the holistic income strategy for your retirement plan. We want to send you all of that. All you have to do is call us at 504-828-2171, or just simply go online at crescentcityretirement.com, schedule a 15-minute consultation, or just simply ask for the report and we'll provide it to you. We couldn't build a retirement plan here without that report. It's a foundational report. So we hope that you take advantage of that and let us provide that for you.
Thank you for listening to Retirement Keys. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, please contact Anthony Congemi at Crescent City Retirement Group. Call 504-828-2171 or visit the website at crescentcityretirement.com.
All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration, the Federal Medicare Program, or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent